Welcome to Kart Class, brought to you by 18 times Australian champion David Serra. Kart Class strives to give kart racing drivers the fundamental driving skills, kart setup, and the mindset required to take you from beginner to winner. Your host David Serra has over 25 years experience in kart racing and is the most successful driver in Australian history.
G'day guys, and welcome back to an episode of our Kart Class podcast. I'm your host, 18-time Australian champion David Serra, and today's discussion is going to be on how to start karting on a budget. Now, this is a pretty cool question that we got sent to us via our Instagram, and when we think about kart racing, it is an expensive sport, but when you're looking at how to start in the category, you got to try and look at your budget straight away. Now, for a karting engine, a brand new karting engine might cost you, say, $8,000 or $10,000, but even though it's a massive expense, what equates to that is then you've got to buy race gear, you've got to get your license, your membership, somehow to get your kart around that transport, whether it's a little box trailer or a van and so on. So when we're looking to start out and we're looking to try and cut our costs, the first thing that I would say is you can start on second hand and have no dramas at all. Now, when it comes to starting second hand, realistically, you're going to bin it. At some point, you're going to end up in the gravel, so scratches are going to occur. There's going to be dirt and grit in the bearings. Things are going to happen when you're learning. So, okay, if you can buy a brand new car, good luck to you. That's obviously a fantastic way to still get into the sport, but you don't need to. So when you're looking for second-hand karts, I would be trying to contact our local kart shops and just see what they have available. Because with your kart shops, they're going to be turning over karts a lot faster. So from ex-race team drivers or people looking to trade in their older model karts to buy brand new ones, that's probably the first place I would be looking to try and sort out a kart. Now, if they don't have anything available, check online. Facebook Marketplace and the Facebook groups available these days to anywhere in the world, there's a massive demand of people selling now online. So straight away, you can start to inquire with these people, asking them the questions, has it been crashed much? Probably not going to get the truthful answer there, let's be honest. But, how many years old is the kart? What sort of history has it had? Little things like that will be able to get you on the track for a budget. Now, when it comes to engines as well, your four-stroke category straight away is going to be the cheapest engine to run. Now, not all countries have four-stroke karting. Most of them are starting to go that way now, which is fantastic to see for newcomers. But also looking for engines that can go those, couple of extra hours before an engine rebuild. So doing your research on which types of water-cooled engines are going to be best suited to your karting career. Now, the next thing is when it comes to trying to start karting on a budget, you're looking at your race gear. So when it comes to, I see a lot of people, they might go and spend $10,000 on a brand new package, kart, engine, and so on, and they go and buy the cheapest helmet out there. And I'm thinking, your head's the most important part in your body. If you have a massive accident and, you have some concussion or whatever it may be, then all of a sudden you can't race regardless of what you've spent on the go-kart. So try and put your money to where some of that safety equipment is better suited, and that would be with the helmet. I wouldn't really go too cheap when it comes to headwear and head equipment. So, looking at you got your Bell helmets, you got your Arai helmets, you've got your stylos. They're going to be very, very well suited to anyone who's getting into kart racing. But then you can go cheaper on the gloves. Like, touch wood, I haven't had any major issues when it comes to gloves that my hands have, been in any danger or anything like that. So, you might find you can go a little bit cheaper there. Again, on the race suits, you might have to go and buy a $1,000 race suit. You can probably pick one up for $150. That's going to be fine. Race boots, again, another thing that's not really as important as your head when it comes to having any issues with accidents. So you might be able to go a little bit cheaper on your boots. When it comes to rib protection, again, your higher end rib protection is going to be expensive for a reason because they do help you a lot. But if you find that your ribs are okay, you might find a cheap rib protector. So there's some of the ways that I look to start off with getting into karting and trying to save a couple of bucks on a couple of spots rather than your head. Now, when it comes to tyres as well, now we know that more grip on our karts generally equates to better lap times with the extra grip. But you might find that you have to race on a budget, so you might want to use other people's second-hand tyres. And that might mean that some of these race teams, they go and do one session on a set of tyres, and all of a sudden they're no good to that particular team or person. So you might try and work out a deal with particular race teams or drivers that you buy their second-hand tyres. So whether that's one race meeting old or one session old, you all of a sudden start paying only half the price for that set of tyres. So straight away, That's a benefit to you. You're paying half the price and you're still getting a very, very good product for you to go and muck around on and continue your kart racing on a budget. When it comes to transport, now that's another thing that's going to be quite tricky, because if you don't have a ute or, a minivan or something like that, then you're going to have to buy a trailer, or at least, borrow, beg, maybe not steal, to get your karts around. So you might want to do a little bit of a buddy system. So whether that's something at your club that has like a little buddy system that you can partner up with someone to take your kart around. Things like that can actually help you, rather than going and spend that $2,000 or $3,000 on a box trailer, or that $5,000 or $10,000 on a more equipped trailer, just to get you on the track to start off with. Try and buddy up with someone to take your kart around to help you out. Now, when it comes to kart maintenance and things like that, your best one's obviously always going to be going towards that local kart shop that has the knowledge, what to check over after each race event. But if you can't afford that, watch some videos online. See what other guys are doing online and how they're preparing their karts, cleaning out their bearings, checking their chain tension, things like that you can try and save a couple of bucks here and there that allows you to race more events along the way. That's going to be important for you when it comes to trying to race on a budget. When I started my career, I started in secondhand karts. I started in secondhand race gear. Like, it was literally hand-me-downs from my cousins who were racing before me. Had just over-the-ankle shoes on, nothing fancy. But what it did was it got me on the track more often, and I enjoyed the sport more and more. And once your family or yourself, you can see that dedication going, you find ways to get back on the track more. So you might start then saving a couple of bucks on your weekly expenses to put towards your kart racing, because that's what you really get a kick out of. So try and save costs where possible on the startup. You don't have to buy brand new tyres. You don't have to get the latest and fanciest race wear. You can cut costs a lot there. In with the maintenance, you can try and do it yourself a lot by watching videos and learning yourself. Search those Facebook groups or call your local kart shop to see what sort of trade-ins they've had. Ask some questions on the history of it and do your research. And that should try and help you save a couple of costs. Partner up with someone to try and get your kart around if possible from your local club. And that's how I'd say is a good way to start off on a bit more of a budget. If you've enjoyed today's episode, obviously feel free to leave us a review and send us any questions that you'd like answered online. We can help you through our podcast as well. We really appreciate this question coming through our Instagram channel at Kart Class. Yeah, hopefully it's helped you out, and hopefully we can see some more karts on track soon. Like I said, feel free to follow us at our Kart Class Instagram, and our Facebook is Kart Class as well. I'm your host, 18-time Australian champion David Serra. Until next time, cheers.
If you've enjoyed today's episode and want to learn more about your kart racing, be sure to check out kartclass.com.au for driving courses catered to all skill levels.